Hey, everybody. Welcome to another session of Time After Time. Just for a small recap, we made it past the Bridge of the Forgotten. Boy, it's the fact that I wrote it and I still can't fucking remember what it is. We got past the Bridge of Forgotten, um, and we are at the Pool of Knowledge. Um, Tamrin is face to face with the goddess of Iowan, who is the goddess of knowledge, and we'll just jump right into it. So, Tamrin, you are face to face with the goddess Iowan, and she says to you, "Why have you sought me out? Who are you?" You're muted.
All I said was, well. uh oh gosh. Um
Has your
uh
voice left you? What is happening here?
so pause for a moment because Leslie doesn't remember what we were doing. Uh we were here, she's in the form of a dragonborn right now. And I'm trying to remember what we were trying to
And we're
do.
here to restore the arcane well, right?
Like restore magic to the land. I,
To
I thought this was like the
yeah.
beginning of
Yeah.
magic, period, right?
Well, magic exists, but what Quaff wants to do is he wants to power the conduit so that magic can spread the throughout worlds, basically.
Right.
Okay. I think the problem here though is that like we've never really had a very good conversation in character about what we're doing. We
Mm-hmm.
sort of have just like dived
We were
into,
here we were here to protect Quaff basically in his journey.
yeah, yeah. So basically like you just see her, she's sort of just standing there and she's like, uh, I am just trying to help, and she's looking for Quaff. there was a there was another guy. He's not, Quaff is not here, so I don't. This is it's not my quest. I was helping somebody else's quest. I don't know.
And roll
Listen,
me a
I'm just
perception
like
check.
I'm part of the group, but I'm like more like an NPC. I'm not the main character.
I'm a supporting character. Thank you
Right.
very much.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and roll me a perception check, please?
15.
15. All right. So, um, so you what you noticed when you first got here was the actual pool is just water surrounding. You can't see anything past the pool of knowledge. The only two things that you know are true are the pool and Iowan. What starts to happen is things start to rise out of the pool, and the things that start rising out of the pool look like sand. It looks like sand starting to form above out of the pool of knowledge. And as this happens, they actually form certain objects. And what it does is it actually forms books, and it starts to make themselves into rows, make them pop up into columns, and make itself look like a hall that surround not a hall but like a circle around you that makes it look like almost like a library. And it some of these books, when you try to look at some of the spines as you're kind of like confused about what's appearing, um some of them have certain titles. Like some of them say Tamrin's time at Tamrin's time at the monastery, and like certain other things that you've had experiences with in your life and things that you know to be true. And it just kind of pops up here and there, but there are a bunch of spines of books that are completely fuzzy. It looks like there's words that are there, but you can't read them at all.
Hmm. Uh, okay. Um, so, I mean, a library apparates around her. Like, can she walk around and move in that space?
Yes. Yes, if
Okay.
you want to, you can.
So she starts looking around. She probably tries one of the books that she recognizes first.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Um, at this point, does she have full access to all of her pre-body hopping memories?
The only things you know up until this point are what we've told in the story.
Yeah.
So you do know about you know about yourself. Oh wait, let's see. Because the story is you don't know about yourself really. Um boy. Well, that's a good question. Now I feel like I've painted myself in a corner here. Um yeah, let's say that some of the things that are in these books are things that you should know, but you don't. Because again, with this experimental time travel thing that you've been doing, like your memories feel very like you know they're there, but you can't quite find them, and that's probably why some of these books are very like garbled and stuff like that. But there are
Okay.
some that even if you see the spine of the book and you're like, I should know that, like the one thing about Tamrin's time at the monastery, like you're like, okay, that seems like that is me, but for some reason your mind is having a tough time like trying to remember like what exactly that means.
Okay. So she tries to look at the books to garner some insight about herself. Um, if that doesn't work, then she'll look for anything that mentions Quaff and this quest.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so you'll actually see a book that's like maybe a few like shelves down or whatever that says uh um Tamrin helps Quaff on his way to the conduit.
Okay. So she'll pull down that book. Can she read it?
Yeah, for sure. So basically, the book is like almost word for word telling the adventures of what you've done up until this point, and it actually um feels like it's the journal that Quaff is actually writing in. So even though it's technically seems like these are your memories about what's happened, it's almost like it looks like he's written it, but it's in your voice.
Okay. Um,
And she and Iowan like stares at you as you do this, and she says, "This is curious. The fact that you do not know who you truly are. Why is this, you think?"
it's a really good question. And I would love to be able to answer that. All I can tell you is that I am body hopping and maybe time traveling, and I'm not really sure how.
And she says, "What name shall I call you?"
Oh, um, Tamrin? I think I know my real name.
Yeah, yeah. You do. You do. It roll me try not roll me an insight check.
15 again.
Okay. You have a feeling that she is trying to lead you somewhere. So it's like she's almost trying to help you kind of jog your memory and try to get you to remember things that you actually don't remember from your past. So this
Okay.
is why she's kind of running you through things like almost like you're a child almost.
Well, I mean, it is a little embarrassing to be speaking to a goddess of knowledge and you don't even know who you are. So there's a certain level of um so she's like, I don't know the answer to the question. That would be kind of the crux of the problem.
So um she says that earlier tome that you looked at, the one with the ones from the monastery, I would check it once more.
So she goes back and finds it
All
and
right.
pulls it down. Can she read it this time?
Yes. So you actually are able to read everything about your past with you being at the monastery. The fact that you are an orphan, you got taken in by these monks. They you call them all your fathers basically because they've
Mm-hmm.
all had a handle in um, teaching you things
There's tall
and
dad,
helping
there's
you.
funny dad, there's, yeah.
That's right. It also talks about towards the end that you wanted to kind of spread your wings and go out into the world and experience it.
Mm-hmm.
And you read this for the first time, basically. It's like the first time, but you know it to be true, that kind of thing. And
Mm-hmm.
it kind of brings a little bit of a sadness because you had to say goodbye to all of these people that you love, but also it brings you a sense of like adventure because you know what you're doing now is kind of what you set out to do.
Yeah, I feel like something went wrong. Does she have any idea? Because literally Tamron's like, look, I don't actually know how I got here. Um, Thank you for this. Very insightful. Really nice to know a little bit about who I am. I had some great dads. Didn't I have some great dads? I had some great dads. So, question, what went wrong and why do we keep skipping bodies and how do we fix it?
And she gives you a knowing look and she says, that is the question, isn't it? She says, knowledge is curiosity. And that is the first. What would she say? That is the first pillar of knowledge. Okay, we're going to skip from Tamron. Toda, you feel like you're in a black, inky darkness for a few seconds. And before you can kind of realize where you're at, you are back at the school that you used to go to.
Okay.
You are on the school grounds where, let's just say you had like free time. So, like, if you wanted to
The
practice
quad.
certain spells, if you wanted to go for a walk, if you wanted to read a certain tome and learn more about magic, like this is the place to do that. And it seems like it's very quiet, like the whole like, oh, it's too quiet kind of thing,
Yep.
because it's let's just say it's like just becoming dusk. And even though it's later in the day, a lot of times this is the time where people would like meet up, maybe get a bite to eat, maybe discuss plans to head out and do other things. But
Right. It's like
the
the pre-dinner time where everyone's out of class. Some people are studying, some people are doing extracurriculars, some people are meeting up to hang out. This should be
yeah,
very busy right now.
yes, exactly. And you kind of look a couple of ways and you don't see anything, but then out of just kind of thin air, Snippet Willow Whisker appears.
Mm.
He brandishes his wand and he's pointing it at you.
All right. I will have already been in the process of like reaching for mine because of the darkness. Because like
Mhm.
my wand is fancy and it can make light. Um and so he will already like reached into his bag and he has his hand on his wand. So
Mhm.
when he sees him, um he'll actually like everything comes back to light. Still a little dark, but he'll actually let go of the wand
Okay.
and like both hands kind of up in front of him, but also close enough to his bandolier of spheres.
Yeah, for sure. And Snippet says, "Oh, look it's Toda, the one who always gets the good grades and does really well and is always got the right thing to say at the right time."
Oh, you mean the one that does the studying and listens when the teacher's talking and doesn't just hang out and waste time? Snippets.
And you see kind of his the part of his upper lip kind of just kind of kind of quiver a little bit as he
Mm-hmm.
just kind of gets a kind of snarl on his face, and he says, it doesn't matter what kind of studying you've done. It doesn't matter how well of a wizard you are. uh, you will always be picked over everyone else. That changes today."
What, are you gonna go to the headmaster and try to get me kicked out again? Making up some stuff?
No, I'm gonna make you disappear. Roll for initiative.
I can almost do that. Mostly because my initiative is not great.
Ooh, his initiative is also not great.
11. Above average.
Nice. Yes. It's definitely better than his because his is a 7.
Woo!
Toda 11. All right, Toda. What do you do?
All right. So I am going to, with my left hand, it's closer to the top ball on the bandolier. I'm gonna grab it and do like a backhand flick out,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes a couple of bounces, and as soon as it takes that third bounce, it breaks apart into like a golden shovel and sticks into the earth. And when it does, a large 5 foot by 5 foot by 5 foot hole opens up in the ground and just goes right underneath Snips.
All right. Um, let's see. He has no defense for that, really. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, so we'll say that that does happen. So he, it's one of those things where he's not, even though he feels like he's ready for it, the hole just kind of opens up below him and he falls, and you hear a complete sickening thud as he hits the ground.
Um, Once that happens, Toto will go wide-eyed and be like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 and he'll like start to run over to the hole.
Okay. As you start running to the hole, you see a skeletal hand pop out of the hole and grab onto the grass that's in front of them. And you see a body that pulls up out of the ground, and it is the skeletal mass of a snippet. And he pulls himself up to his full skeletal figure,
Yeah.
and he says, "You couldn't just let oh, God, sorry. You couldn't just leave enough alone, could you? You couldn't just let the little guy win ever, could you?"
And when he says that, I'll be like, we're both gnomes.
That shouldn't matter. And he out of his fingertips cast a bolt of lightning towards your body. Does a 12 hit?
I think so. That's on the mark.
It's on the mark. Okay.
Yep.
So that
Because
does
of course
hit.
I have no armor.
Yeah, so you're gonna take 4d6 radiant damage.
Been nice knowing you guys.
What is happening?
You're gonna take nine damage of radiant. Oh, wow.
I am radiated.
Nice. So
That is on the nose. That will drop me exactly to 0.
exactly to 0.
How do
Yep.
you only have 9 hit points?
I'm
Yeah.
a wizard.
Harry,
We're 4th level. You have to have more than that,
that's
Yes,
second
we're
level.
4th level.
aren't we?
And he wanted to be second level. So he is
Don't
second level.
spoil it.
I already did. All right. So yeah, you
I never graduated high school.
he's a baby.
Your cloak catches on fire, and you feel like you've been thrown into a fireplace, and you feel your skin kind of crackling, and it feels like a really bad sunburn, but it also feels like someone is taking like a pliers and like trying to like spread your skin till it can't spread no more. And you start to feel like you are starting to kind of fall away. And Snippet looks at you and says, "All you had to do was just let me win once. Once. We could have been friends." All right, we're going to cut
If I
to
let
Cam.
you win, you wouldn't have earned it, and it wouldn't have felt so good.
That's perfect. I'm definitely cutting that out so you can say that before I say we're cutting to Cam. All right, actually no, we're gonna cut to Belzarin. All right, Belzarin. You
Yes.
you feel like you are in murky darkness for a few seconds before you are popped in to the village that you are from.
Okay.
There is a bunch of people around. They are getting ready for something. It feels like something big, but you just don't know what's happening. People are in a rush. Some people are happy. Some people are murmuring. Some people are angry. And you are smack dab in the middle of this huge crowd. Let's
I
say
think
like
first,
there's like 60 people.
I feel like this is a weird situation, right? So I look down at my hands, right? Am I a centaur? Am I my half elf form? Like what am I?
That is the correct question. You are you. You are you as you know yourself to be.
Okay. All right. Um, he looks around, try to, get a sense of what's happening. Is there like a fire? Is there a war band? Like, just a quick, like, take a look around, see what's happening. If nothing seems like completely out of place, is just like, put a hand out to somebody who's rushing by and say, hey, what's going on? Everybody seems like they're in such a rush.
Yeah. So as you are well, actually let's do this first. Before we have you ask that question, let's have you roll a perception check first.
All right. It's a 17 on the die plus 5, 22.
Perfect. Awesome. So you see that there is almost like a stage off to the left, let's say. And
Oh,
it's
is it
about
Cyclops?
40, 50. No, it is not.
No.
It is like it's like 40 yards away. There is a female being tied up to a post on that stage. And for some reason, even though you feel like you can tell that that is something, she is murky. Like you can't, her body is so distorted, you can't quite tell who she is at the moment. You hear, when you hear the murmurs, you hear that, you hear people say, I can't believe she's still here. I mean, what? And then you hear another person say, well, without her husband, she's nothing. And you hear another person say, well, we just can't have this. This is just not how things work here.
I get a bad feeling, and I start to move towards the stage, to get a better look at what's going on. Is there kindling logs stuff like underneath? Like, is she tied to a pole, like classic like witch burning scenario? Or
Yes, she is.
okay. Yeah, so I think he starts to pick up speed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If it's kind of like sort of far away to
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
right? Because he's just got like a really bad feeling, right? Like, I don't know, like he doesn't know in character, right? But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And as you start making your way towards this mystery figure, you start to smell burning embers. You don't see anything, but you smell it.
I think no. I don't think he stops to ask anybody because he's just trying to get to the stage.
Yeah, for sure. And as you are trying to get closer, the crowd starts to get thicker. And you start to bump into people. People start to get in your way. Even as you bump into people, people are talking, but they're not talking like they're talking to you. It's like they're talking to either someone else or like the crowd or like to whoever's listening to the story. It's like it's not directed at you. It's almost like you don't exist here.
Right.
Roll me a dexterity check.
All right. Straight dex. Is it a save? Can I add acrobatics? What are we looking at?
If you want to be acrobatic through the crowd, it's basically trying to see how well you get through this crowd.
All right. Yeah, I think he would move more lively through the crowd as opposed to pushing through the crowd.
Yeah, for sure.
That's an 18 plus 7, baby.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. So yeah, tell me how you get through this crowd.
So as he starts to run, and there's people kind of moving in that direction, and he kind of outpaces them. And there's like, farmers with their wives, and the kids are coming, and there's, farm hands that are coming in, and people from town, like you see the blacksmith kind of going over. And he's just sort of running through. He's got a bunch of space, and like I said, as it gets closer, people start to pack in because they're getting closer to the things, so there's nowhere for them to go. So he just kind of, he'll hands up and just kind of like slide through, put a hand on somebody, oh pardon me, trying to get through, make way kind of thing. And he's just trying to shimmy and shake his way through this crowd as it starts to press together. So like, somebody will like shift and he'll just kind of like slide in behind him and then like push somebody else out of the way, and just continually making towards the stage.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, you do it nimbly, you do it effectively. You get towards the front of the stage and you see this blurry figure put out their hand towards you in a, in a please take my hand kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, go ahead.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
And as she holds out her hand, her blurry figure starts to come back into focus, and you realize that this is your mother.
Yeah, he jumps up on the stage and draws his sword, and like just in movie style fashion, right? Like her hands are behind her, but he doesn't like he takes out the sword and like chunk into the wood to cut the rope, because maybe like the hands are tied, but like the rope comes up and is like secured at the top or whatever, and like cuts the rope. He says, what's happening here? Why do they have you up here? What's And then like he just yells at the crowd, what's going on here?
Yeah, yeah. And as you're chunking into the rope, it looks like something is happening, like rope explodes and nothing happens. The rope is intact. You go to hit the rope again. It looks like it's gonna happen this time and nothing happens. You go to hit, like start chunking the post itself to try to get that to lose its grip on or lose its way so she can lose her grip on the pole and get away, and nothing happens.
He then like as he expects it to work, right? And he starts yelling, but she doesn't appear beside him, right? And then he just goes back and he's just like hacking at it. Um, so he, sheathes the sword and like bends down next to her to grab the rope, right? To try to untie it. Do my hands pass through the rope? Or am I
Yeah,
actually able to physically like grab it?
yeah, you're able to grab it. You can tell it's in knots, and you start to try to undo it, and it's like same thing. It's like you try to this time you're trying to do it smart. You're like, okay, well, I'll just undo the rope. You don't undo the knot, you let the thing go, and it comes right back. You try to do it again, it comes back up. Uh you start to feel hot, like burning embers hot, starting with your feet and going up to your ankles.
Uh, I think he just yells out, stop this madness. And then he like takes his shoulder and he tries to like just boom, like just knock the pole down. I'm assuming it's like lashed to something or whatever. I could, maybe knock this thing over if I can't,
Yeah.
untie the rope or whatever, right? Like he's starting to panic now.
Yeah, for sure. And you hear like random murmurs in the crowd again. You hear nothing without her husband. Why is she even here? She doesn't belong here. That kind of thing. And like you hear your mother's voice as it goes from a soft pleading to a um audible crying to a ear shattering scream, and you and her are both burning at the same time. You can see your flesh, you can see everything kind of catch fire, you can feel everything that's happening. You know that if you stay with her, that both of you will end up in the same peril.
Yeah, I think he just keeps working at it. Like he takes out a dagger and just like starts like cutting at the rope, as the skin, starts to melt on his hand and the dagger blade starts to glow. Like he's just bound and determined to, because there's no water, there's no anything to get her off the stage or,
Yeah.
off this, whatever.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. So, and um in a panic, you're trying to do whatever you can. And in a surprising instance, your mom's hand grabs your head, puts it on her chest, and she whispers in your ear, "There's nothing you can do for me, son. Um, uh, Live your life. Remember me. I love you."
Uh, and I think she's looking down at him. He says, what is this? What's happening?
And she whispers into your ear. She says, this is hate. This is the thing that I taught you to never accept. And I've fought it, and unfortunately I've lost, but you can win. Find find your happiness, find your love. Remember that I'm always here. And she puts her hand on your chest.
I think he embraces her, right, with a tear steaming down his cheek. And think he jumps up. Does it look like there's someone in charge?
Roll me a perception check.
Oh fuck! Finally failed. That's gonna be a 5 plus. I think it's 5. Yep, 10.
Okay. Yeah, no, everyone looks really similar in the way that everybody looks like kind of the people from your town, like a very nondescript, very like nothing special, like that kind of thing. There's nobody that stands out that you're like that person is in charge, or that person is um uh, to blame for this or whatever. You kind of have this kind of like uh thought that just kind of gets into your head that like no one is accepting, and everyone is to blame here.
Yeah, I think he just murmurs to her, "I love you," and then jumps off the stage, both blades, and just starts hacking his way through the crowd.
Yep. Okay, I think we're gonna leave you there. All right, now we're gonna move into Cam. All right, Cam.
Yes.
uh okay, you and your husband Mathael and your daughter Dakar are walking down the street, and you are at where you used to live. And there is you're walking through a market. The market is really bustling today. There are people that are selling all kinds of things. They're selling spices, they're selling foods, they're selling clothes, they're selling uh potions, they're selling all kinds of different things. And you are holding Mathael's hand, and Dakar is like running down the street and like saying hi to people, and she's like, "Hi," that kind of thing. And they're like, "Hi, how are you, Dakar?" And she's like, "Oh, good. How are you?" "Oh, we're doing great," kind of thing. And she just kind of heads to the other spot or whatever, and she's like, "Hi, David," and David's like, "Hey, Dakar, how are you?" "Oh, good. We're just going to, look for some food and some maybe something special, like a special treat." And Dakar and uh uh David is like, "Oh, I hope you find it." And she's like, "I know I will." And she's kind of giggling and kind of milling down the road.
Do I have any prior knowledge at my disposal here, or is this like, am I reliving a moment? Like, because am I aware that I just got zapped here, and this wasn't where I was a
Yes.
moment ago?
Correct.
I'm okay. So all right. Ugh. I'm looking around frantically, actually. If that's the case, then I'm immediately distrustful of the situation. I had one more question about this, because this is um I think what I do is I immediately try and talk to everyone in my head with the psychic whispers ability to see if I'm connected to anybody anymore. Like,
Yeah,
I
for
just
sure.
so I'm just standing there looking around, and then I'm watching my daughter run off, and like I'm having this mini panic attack about that, and then just like, and if you hear me, Belzara and Tamron Toda, can you hear me?
And like, and Mathael like turns to you and says, are you okay, hon? What's happening?
Not Nothing. I think I just kind of look at him and get a little like, just I squint my eyes and just kind of just touch his face for a second, and immediately I turn my attention back to the car, which
Yeah.
where she is.
Yeah. She's passing from thing to thing, and she finds a spot. And it looks like there's a bunch of different fruits on a stand, and she's kind of talking in hushed tones with the vendor that's working there.
Yeah, I would I will walk up to her, and I'm also looking around for a certain for people who look a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm now sort of on high alert and a little bit of a panic.
Yeah. So what are you looking for in particular? Who do you want to stand out that
If I
you're
have
so wary
if
of?
I have prior knowledge, I'm looking for threatening people.
Okay. And so it's almost like you hear a voice in the back of your head, and they say, so who are these people that you're looking for? Describe them for me.
Yep.
I'm
Uh,
curious.
Remind myself real quick. You da- 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 da. Damn it. Oh, okay. I actually don't know.
Okay. Well, how about this? How
You
about
know what? You know
how
what I'm
about
looking
you
for? I'm
just
looking for looks.
yes.
I'm looking for looks, people who are taking notice of us, like in a negative way. Because I don't know how much. Okay, so if I have prior knowledge, I feel like I've just been given an opportunity here to stop something.
Yes.
So now I'm looking for
So
the signs that I would have missed.
yeah, for sure. So before people ask the question, and again, this is probably a little too late, but as we're going through everyone's kind of past life and these memories and stuff like that, these are something that also it's popped in, like, you know, this stuff now. So like, you know how I talked about before when you got kidnapped and whatever, you had kind of this amnesia. You don't know everything. You just know these parts of your life right now. So just so everybody knows that.
Okay, then I think
Okay.
it's time. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think it's time to go.
Okay.
To car. Let's go home. It's time. We've had enough. We've had enough time in the market. We're gonna go home now.
Yeah. So she looks at you and she says, she's like, but Papa, there's papayas here. We talked about making a papaya pie. I mean, can't we just take a couple home so we could have papaya pie?
Yes, I know you want to make a papaya pie with Papa's papaya pie party time. Um, but no, I You know what? And whatever stand she's at, if there's papayas, I will buy papayas. I'll buy enough papayas to make it. I will just buy them quickly.
Okay. So there's no like there's no like uh sign that says how much they are, and the guy that the vendor that's there hasn't given you up as far as how much they are.
Um, I don't even know. Like, what I have. Where's my? Oh, okay. I give him five gold. Like, how many papayas would this get me?
Okay. So he's like he says the vendor says, I don't know if that will be enough to save your daughter.
Oh, you fucker. um. Uh. Okay, then I picked the car up. Mathael, it's time to go. And I just look at the guy and I'm looking around. I mean, Cam's in a little bit of a panic right now. I'm looking around, kind of panic. I get an elevator heart rate. It's time to go. We're not getting papayas today.
Yeah. So you pick her up and you take her and you do a 180 and you go completely back the other way that you came, and this vendor appears right in front of you.
Yep.
And he says,
Yep.
you three are going nowhere.
Oh, good. Okay. I put the car immediately down behind me. I put her in Mathael. I put her in Mathael's arms and run. And then so I would have been trying to head out of the marketplace, but like I'm moving away from this person now. We're keeping him in my sight and keeping them behind me. So like backing up, I'm taking blades out. I got my psychic blades out, and like we're moving away. We're leaving. Kurt, we're leaving. We're leaving.
Yeah. So you start to back up and you start to push everyone behind you, and then you feel a thud and you turn around and that vendor is behind you as well.
I
And
attack the vendor.
Says,
I attack him before he says anything. There's no,
all right,
no.
all right.
I'm not. I am preventing this. This okay? I'm preventing this entire scenario. I attack this man.
All right. So what kind of attack are you doing?
So if we turn around and then he appears in front of me again, I'm just taking my blades and I am just like two downward stabs and trying to come in on top of his clavicles and just insert.
Yeah, for sure. So you do that. You pick up your daggers. You go completely down on this vendor's shoulders. You sink them deep within his shoulders. You look at his shoulders, and then you look up and you realize that you, in fact, haven't put your daggers through the vendor. You actually put your daggers through Mathael.
You filthy, you dirty. That's dirty, Kurt. That is dirty. You're playing dirty.
This is role playing. This is what happens.
You're role playing dirty. Oh, this is a bad situation. I back all away. Just and I'm looking around. I'm not believing anything I'm seeing. I grab the car and I don't know. I'm just grabbing her and I'm panicking. Cam is in a panic.
Yeah. So you grabbed a car and Mathael slumps to the ground and you are in a panic and you start to run with Dakar and you run out of the market and you appear back in the market. You run out of the market and you appear back in the market.
Perfect.
You run and then you're stopped by the vendor. And the vendor says, this is where everything ends.
Okay. Put the car down and I kind of move her behind me. And then I just
you as you put Dakar down, her bones just crumble in front of you. And you don't see the vendor, but you hear like a narrator saying in the background, this is where it all ends.
So I think Cam just kind of like loses it a little bit, just like still can't stop it. Couldn't stop it. And I just look up at the guy, just whoever the vendor, like, why? What is this? This
And,
isn't
He
real.
says to you, he says, there is no reason. That's life. All right, now we're gonna cut to Tamron.
Dirty.
Hey, we're trying to get the feels today. Emotions, that's what we're doing. I know, I hate I hate as much of it as you do. So anyway, all right. Tamron, you are looking through things. You're actually reacquainting yourself with your life. And Iowan says some things to you, that it's like, it's like she's trying to drum up some things to help you out. She says, it's interesting, like, you are not here of your own volition. This is true. And she looks to you for confirmation.
Probably.
And she says, and you are doing these things without any prior knowledge of why.
Yes.
And you have this helper, and like, just because I don't know what you do in D&D, she puts up a little quotations or whatever. She says, you have this helper, and it doesn't seem like he really is very good at helping you.
Extremely inept. Really cannot overstate that.
And just because I can't think of anything, like, these screens pop up, and you see all your comrades. You see Belzarin, what happened to him when he got kidnapped. You got Cam when he got kidnapped. You see Tota when Tota sees these red eyes that shake him to his core. And she points at Tota's screen and she says, so you see, and she points at Tota and she says, you see that this young fella has fear in his eyes, but if you look a little closer, he also has recognition in those.
Someone we know kidnapped us and is forcing us to do this. Okay.
At least someone that he knows.
Well, that makes sense. He's a magic user. Sneaky bastards.
So let's continue down this path of things we know.
Wizards
You're
always
also
have
helping-
secrets.
You also know that you're helping Tota's relative, Quaff, with Wish Widget. But you don't know exactly why. You also helped, and she does this thing again, destroy the Crestium. Is the Crestium really destroyed? Do you know for a fact that it is out of existence?
Nope. Certainty is
Challenge.
not possible in existence. I learned that from the monks.
And she says, challenge is another pillar of knowledge. Challenging what you know to be true and making sure that it is true. That is another pillar of knowledge. The one thing that you do lack, that is that third pillar of knowledge, is experience. You've read it in your own tome. You have lived yourself a very sheltered life. You're trying to spread your wings. You're trying to expand your knowledge. I think I could help you with that. And she brings out a very small bag that is very white in color. It almost looks like it is glowing, almost like letting off like almost like beams of light almost. And she says, "These are my stones. These could help you in your journey. But they come at a price. You are not quite experienced yet to use these without side effects. They will help you in your journey, but to use them for long periods of time could be detrimental to your health. So beware."
Okay. How often can I use them? Is there like a suggested use time?
She says, you will know when it is time. It will be, you can use them for long periods of time, but just again, beware. If you use them longer than that, then it will affect you, and you will come to understand that.
Okay. Thank you. I am very grateful. Also, do you happen to know what happened to my friends?
And she says, "You know what? I think I might." And she snaps her finger, and you are all at the center of this black room. It is completely obsidian everywhere, except for this huge pillar that goes through the ceiling into God knows where. And it has what seems like millions of colors vibrating through it and swirling through it. And you can just tell, because you actually have magic within you, that there is so much magic in this that if you were to try to harness it yourself, it may kill you. And now everybody is, all of you are all in this same room together.
Toda.
Insert the line that I said at the end now.
Toda.
If I had just let you win, then you wouldn't have actually felt the grace. Huh?
Toda.
Wait.
Toda.
What? Where's Snips? Where's Snips' bones?
Cam, are you okay? Oh my God. What happened to you guys?
Cam, were you crying?
Cam's on the ground. Cam's on the ground with his blades out, like hyperventilating, like baring his teeth, looking around, like trying to get his. What?
Melsound, where's your other legs?
Other legs.
I look down to see if it's me or if I'm back as Peg again.
Yeah, you're back as Peg again.
We're back.
They're here, but where are those people? What happened?
So I got in a wizard's duel, and it did not go well. for me. It went pretty good for the other guy, although he was actually dead too. I mean, I did put him in a hole and then he came out as a corpse and then he shot me with lightning and then I kind of died a little bit, but now I'm okay. Why? What are you talking about?
No, I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
I don't know. You kind of look like you've been crying a little bit.
I met with Ioun or someone that said they were Ioun. I have questions.
Me too. Who's Ioun?
Goddess of knowledge.
Oh.
I remember who I am now, which is interesting. It still kind of feels like I was reading a story about somebody else, but I kind of knew it was me, if that makes any sense.
Nope.
I mean, as much as any of this. Where's Quaff?
Toda, who do you know that would do this to us?
Snippets.
Who the hell is Snippets?
Although, I mean, he's only one grade ahead of me, so I don't necessarily think that he would actually have the capability to do this. But he definitely did it.
Well, whoever did this did a shitty job of it because we don't know who we are or what we're doing. And we have the most incompetent helper on the face of the planet. So I feel like a 2-bit terrible wizard is maybe the answer.
See?
Kirk, do any of us recognize this room?
You don't.
All right.
And speaking of where's Quaff, you look to see Quaff in a corner, and he is facing the corner, and he has his head in his hands, and he's crying uncontrollably.
Is there a spotlight on him?
Cam runs over to him and grabs him. Like, what did you do? Quaff.
He's like tears streaming down his face, and he's just crying uncontrollably. He's
What
like,
did you do?
What do you mean what did I do? I didn't do anything. I just saw my own death. And that's what we'll call it.
Oh, God damn it.
You have to look at the cameras.
Well, so just as for next time, I was gonna
Yes.
say, I don't think that anybody did it. I think because we're in such close proximity to the birth of all magic on the planet that did the thing.
I don't know. I think the story that we were fed of why we're here and what we're doing isn't actually what the truth is.
I mean, that could be too. I guess we'll find
I blame
out.
Cam.
Cam just like shoots you a look. Like, no. Don't blame me for this. I'm still like holding on to Quaff. Did Quaff disappear or am I still holding on to him?
No, you'd be still holding on to him, yeah.
Am I holding this bag of Ioun stones?
Yes, you are.
Oh.
Yeah.
Am I
Do I
covered in
have all
blood?
my
Will
skin?
send- I'll send you a message on what those do.
Am I covered in blood?
No, you're not covered in blood. No.
Only the
Nobody's-
human half.
Nobody's
Of
physically injured. Just
you.
mentally
The horse
scarred.
half is still pristine.
Yes.
Like blood off a centaur's back.
Yeah. Your horse's head is missing because it's on the edge of somebody's bed somewhere.
Oh shit, is that how I got this way? Send him a
That's it.
message by cutting off my own head.
That's right.
I don't think Tamron feels much more enlightened about what is happening. Other than knowing her past a little better.
Yeah, the goddess of knowledge only gives you what she wants to give you. She's not beholden to do anything really. So
Like my
fickle.
7th grade English teacher.
nice.
Can we leave this place? Can we leave this room?
We'll have to find out next time, John.
We'll have to find. He said we'll call it there, John.
Damn it! No, I'm calling it.
Flag on the field.
Cam reaches out into the metaverse and brings everyone back in.
Yeah, this story ends when I ended.
Reaches through the
Awesome.
void,
All right.
pulls Kurt into the void.
Yeah, exactly. Damn it.
Listen,
I
this
like
isn't a
telling the
Stephen
story. I
King
don't want to be a
novel.
part of it. Yeah, exactly, right. I'm already living in hell. I don't need it anymore. All right. Well, thank you to my players for playing an awesome session. Thank you to everyone that's watching this now or watches it in the future. We're trying to do this every couple of
past.
weeks, so check us out every other Tuesday if you can. If not, it'll be on there for prosperity or whatever, posterity or whatever it is. So
Posthumously.
yeah, so make sure that you check it out when you can. We also have the MFG Cast podcast where we're doing some D&D actual play as well. We're continuing on our Thief Like Me campaign. We're also John Haremza and I are doing Core Noir. We're kind of wrapping that up, but in real life, but we still got old episodes coming out and some juicy stuff is actually coming up. So make sure you check that out. We just released, we had a little mini con at our house and had some friends over and we talked about that and that was a lot of fun. So if you want to do that, check that out. Also, John, you also have the Legends of Tabletop podcast. What's going on over there?
We're getting a lot of Russian spam right now, so that's a thing that's happening.
What?
I don't know. Yeah. Just delete comments every day. So that's fun. We have a Deadlands campaign currently ongoing. We also have our Runners game, which is a core-based game that Jesse is
You gotta share.
working on and will never finish. So I guess you can listen to it.
It's still exciting, even if the book
Listen
isn't
to
finished.
us not play test the system.
Right.
Yeah. Is that it, Jesse? Is that it? Are we doing anything else? I don't think so, right? We might be doing some Cthulhu again soon, maybe.
Yeah, maybe some Cthulhu. Maybe Oscar also wants to start up another Invictus game.
Yep. We might have a Cthulhu one shot coming up that Jesse's got in mind for something. But that's it. Mostly just APs. I might have an interview with Ken Hite coming up. In real time, that would be sort of end of September-ish, although I guess we're kind of already halfway through September. So
We're getting there. Be there before you know it.
yeah, maybe that's going to happen. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Check it out.
Nice.
Hey, he brought it
Awesome.
up to you.
No, I brought it up to him.
I was there.
I asked him if he wanted to be on the show, and he was like, yeah, sure.
All right. I'm trying to give you some credit, bro.
Nice. All right. Well, until next time, I'm